Now that it is December 24th, we have a whole bunch of presents under our tree back at home. In fact, we probably have too many presents under a tree back at home. We definitely do not need more stuff other than what we have right now. But it is a blessing that the Lord provides us so much more above and beyond the basic necessities of this world. And those Christmas presents under that Christmas tree back at our house are annual reminders of how generous the Lord continues to be, even with those things that are kind of meaningless in this life. But no matter how many presents are under the tree on any given year, how few, no matter how big they are, how small, my kids now do what my brothers and I used to do when I was that age. Kind of go through the presents beforehand and see which ones belong to them. From mom and dad to me. From grandma and grandpa to me. From an aunt and uncle or family friend or sibling to me. It's always been fun for kids of a certain age to kind of sort through those presents and see which ones are addressed to them. Try to imagine what's underneath the wrapping paper and inside those boxes of bags. Because the truth of the matter is, it's not just the present itself. It's really not just the anticipation of opening those presents either. Because long before those gifts are unwrapped and those boxes ripped apart, the fact that there's a tag on it with your name means that someone cared enough to buy something or make something or give something specifically to you. The shepherds of Bethlehem found that out in a miraculous way when they were kind of doing their own thing, tending their flocks at night around that little village. They were minding their own business. They were doing what shepherds were doing. Maybe they were even sleeping at that late hour of the night when suddenly an angel appears to them and tells them about this unprecedented gift given by God Himself specifically to them. Here's a short part of that story once again. There were shepherds living out in the fields nearby, keeping watch over their flocks at night. An angel of the Lord appeared to them, and the glory of the Lord shone around them, and they were terrified. But the angel said to them, "Do not be afraid. I bring you good news of great joy that will be for all the people. Today in the town of David a Savior has been born to you. He is Christ the Lord." Did you catch the tag on that gift? A Savior has been born to you. He's Christ the Lord. The shepherds must have been amazed. We know from the story that they were terrified by the presence of this angelic being from heaven, but they also must have been astounded at His message. Not only had all of those prophecies about the coming Savior come true, not only had that long-awaited Messiah finally arrived, not only had God kept His word and sent His Son to save His people, but the angels specifically tell these shepherds, a Savior has been born to you. Isn't that interesting? If the angel had showed up and told the shepherds, a baby boy has been born to Mary and Joseph in Bethlehem, that would have made a lot of sense. But the angel doesn't say that. A Savior has been born to you. This was their present, their gift, their Son, their Savior. It wasn't just theirs. I bring you good news of great joy, the angel says, that is to be for all people. This is your present, your gift, your Son, your Savior. You are not only included in all people to whom this gospel message was sent, but your name was written on the tag of that gift, designating you as the specific recipient of this miracle that is so incredible that has never been duplicated since. A Savior has been born to you. He is Christ the Lord, from God to you. How are you going to use this gift? And I think that's a legitimate question at this time of year, because you know just as well as I do that there are plenty of gifts under the Christmas tree that are used more than others. Some of those gifts under the Christmas tree are going to be used every day, and then there are other gifts that are going to be used once and pushed to the side. And that happens a lot with gifts to kids, doesn't it? Sometimes the toys break just hours after opening. Sometimes the clothes just don't fit quite right. Sometimes the games aren't as fun as they're supposed to be. There are any number of items that are opened on Christmas and then placed on the shelf or shoved into the corner that start to gather dust for weeks or months or even years. Every December, there are plenty of Christmas presents that are returned. And plenty more Christmas presents that are exchanged. And then there are more Christmas presents that are broken or forgotten or thrown away. And so that's why I asked the question. What are you going to do with this special gift from God to you? Part of the problem, of course, is that you're used to getting gifts that you already have. You might receive a shirt, but you have the same shirt in your closet. A child might receive a game that they've already been playing for months now. A person might receive a book that is a duplicate of the book already sitting on the nightstand. It's easy to consider this gift, Jesus being born into this world, as something that you already have. Yeah, I got that last year, we might think. It's nice, don't get me wrong, but I've used it a couple times. I already know how it works. I'll probably come back to it eventually, but it's nothing new. This gift of Jesus' birth into this world is something we've seen before, and especially after December 25th comes and goes, we put it on the shelf and don't even think about it anymore. Because New Year's Eve is coming up that we have to plan for. And another calendar year is right around the corner. And a busy January is looming, and we've got things to do. And so this gift from the Lord Himself to us, it's so easy to leave that behind. Hope you realize how dangerous that could be. We need this gift. We cannot go another day forward without this gift. We would implode from the pressure of our own sinfulness apart from this gift. It's harmful to our faith to pack this gift up with the Christmas decorations and only take it down again next December. That's far too long to leave this amazing, miraculous gift from the Lord Himself, specifically handcrafted for you, left untouched. The miraculous entrance of Jesus into this world as a real human being is critical to our eternity. It is the very reason we are saved. The entire human race was in desperate need of a permanent solution to a self-imposed problem from the very beginning, and God knew it. That's why He planned it. That's why He planned out an entire historical tapestry that was going to lead directly to that one night in a barn on the outskirts of Bethlehem. And then He started to arrange historical events and specific aspects of individual lives so that everything could lead up to this birth, to this announcement, to this miracle. And all along the way, He predicted exactly what would happen, and where it would happen, and how it would happen, and why it would happen. He was setting things up so that at just the right time, and in just the right way, the Son of God Himself would leave heaven and come here as a real, live human being, as a gift. Because this gift was supposed to be our substitute. He was to take our place. He was to step up and do what we couldn't do, and be who we couldn't be, and accomplish what we couldn't accomplish. This child from the house of David so long ago was supposed to keep every law that we break, and to follow every command that we ignore, and pay the price for every sin that we commit. This child, Christ the Lord, was supposed to come to this earth and then give you what he would earn and take on himself what you deserve. This firstborn son of Mary, the Son of God himself, was to enter this world physically, and then to physically die on the cross, and to physically rise from the grave so that one day you can physically be with him in heaven. What a gift. What an unprecedented present from God to you. And you knew exactly what you needed. You didn't ask for it. You weren't even expecting it. But the birth of Jesus into this world is the greatest Christmas present that you have ever received and ever will. And guess what? You're going to get the same thing again this year. You're going to get the exact same gift in the exact same wrapping paper in the exact same box. Enjoy it. Treasure it. Cling to this gift as if it is the most precious gift you have ever received, because it is. Jesus' birth into this world is the start of your forgiveness. Jesus' birth into this world is the basis of your salvation. Jesus' birth into this world is the foundation of your eternity. It is the perfect gift, unprecedented from the beginning all the way into forever. And it is from God